So I have worked at McDo for a while now, and usually it's pretty boring, but occasionally we do have some interesting situations. So I'm going to talk about that. So the reason I decided to work there at all was because one of my friends worked there and I didn't really have my license yet, so it would be convenient for us to just drive together. We live pretty close together, so it wasn't really much out of his way to just drop me off at home afterward. That was our happy plan anyway. The day I had to go in for my interview, I had my mom drive me there. I dressed decently and sat down inside. The general manager, let's call him horticulture, came and sat across from me. And we greeted each other, and it was fine until the actual interview started. The first thing he told me was, "We have a strict appearance policy. Would you be willing to cut your hair?" For context, I have very long hair and I really like it, so of course I immediately said no. He just stood up and shook my hand, said thank you, and walked away. Now, no matter what the circumstances were, I would have been mad, but my main problem is that, like, 20 feet away, there were people working that had their hair even longer than mine. So I just had to leave really upset. Now, this might sound pretty bad, but later that day, they got a phone call from corporate saying that their policy had changed, and they called me back asking to come in for orientation. So everything turned out okay, but it was a really unfair policy to begin with. So, we've all heard the stories of entitled customers, and I can confirm that they exist. It's usually the most typical generic people that get mad over something really small, or thinking that they should be prioritized over other customers. These customers are pretty simple to deal with, but sometimes we get ones that just create situations that are like really annoying, and it's very difficult for me to keep my cool. When I pull into work, I have to go through a four-way intersection. I was turning left, and the person to my right had their blinker on to go right. So we both should have been totally fine to go. So we both start driving at the same time, and they nearly run into me. I pull into my parking spot and they go into the drive-thru. I open the door and get out of my car, and they yell, "You have a stop sign!" And I yell back, "You had your blinker on!" And they just roll up their window. So I went inside and clocked in and told one of the managers about it. Meanwhile, they had just gotten their food, which was a large fry well done. My manager tells me that this lady has come through before, and they had to ask her to leave because she was being really mean to the employees. While we're talking, we hear the person in back cash trying to reason with someone, and eventually they stop and the car pulls ahead to the second window. Guess who it is? The same lady that tried to hit me with her car. She says that her fries are not well done enough. Apparently this is like the third time she's done the same thing, and she's essentially been banned from the location. But to be nice, we decided to make her fries, and we made them well. So well done. I'm not even sure they were fries when we gave them to her. But you know what? She didn't come back. So this is like a update. So she actually did come back. She didn't come back for a couple months, but apparently she did not that long ago. And one of the managers warned me that if she was disrespectful at all, they would just ban her like permanently and ask her to not return. So that's fun. I have some friends at work, and one of them, well, I'll call him D's. He asked to be called that. I'm not making that up. Is a pretty great friend of mine. So one night, he decided he was going to be sick and leave to go to the bathroom for like a half hour. And there really weren't that many people working. I believe there was only about 5 of us, including him. So horticulture goes to check on him and comes back with a pretty upset look on his face. So I ask him if Deez is okay. I laugh a little bit, and about 5 minutes later, Deez comes back looking absolutely awful. He tells me that there's a really big mess in the bathroom. Horticulture comes over and informs me that I have to go clean it up. So I walk in there and I expect something pretty manageable. I mean, there's a toilet and a garbage can. There can't be that much on the floor. Oh my god! I have to clean up this pile of slop with nothing but a smelly wet vac, a mop, and my bare hands. Anyway, it took me about 20 minutes to clean, and I was traumatized. Anyway, that was some work stories. Let me know if you want to hear more, because I definitely have more. Subscribe and comment or something. Bye-bye.